There we go.
Hello everyone, welcome to the very first edition of the Cop 4. We are delighted to be here. It's something we've had planned for a few weeks. I positioned it to the lads to say, listen, you want to maybe join together, join a group, join forces. As Mac put it so elegantly, the Avengers assemble. And yeah, I'm delighted to always be here with the lads, Liam, Max and Brian. And going forward, just going to be trying to use as much Liverpool content as possible. We're going to be live every Thursday and every Monday. Hopefully with some good memories to last until the end of the season. We still have a lot to play for, a lot to talk about, and that's what we're going to go through today. But lads, how are we?
Not too bad, mate. Not looking forward to the big game on the weekend.
Very excited to get started with you guys as well. Big up to you lot.
Yeah, can't wait.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't think I'd miss Liverpool this much. I was so excited after we lost to Brighton that we didn't have to watch us for 2 weeks. I've actually missed watching it. I've missed watching Arnie's lost Liverpool.
I think you're one of the few to say that, Liam.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
Rein it in.
Yeah. I suppose there is a lot to talk about. Just like we obviously lost to Brighton, we'll maybe go into a little bit later on, but there has been so much to talk about, even like in the international break. And yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about that on the show. So for anyone that's watching, we're going to maybe going through Salah. Obviously, he's announced that he's leaving. That's obviously going to be a big talking point. The Gerrard interview is going to be pretty big. Some people wanted him in. He said he's not ready. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And then, yeah, like we have some people come back from injuries, some people that have been injured on international break, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about Man City. So drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're new, you're very welcome to the channel. There have a few people coming in already. Ahmad, thank you very much. But yeah, I suppose the kind of big one and the biggest announcement, I would say, is probably the best Premier League player you could argue of the last decade. I think there's probably very few that could rival him. Maybe Van Dijk, maybe maybe De Bruyne. Or yeah, Mohamed Salah leaving Liverpool. I suppose I think it was inevitability towards it, but Liam, I'll come to you first. Like, where were you when you found out, and like how shocked were you by it? I suppose
I was actually in this apartment I am now. I saw it through Brian's Instagram story. I saw the video, and obviously he's Fabrizio Romano. I saw the video, and like for the first like 20 seconds of the video, it's just sort of like it's building suspense, isn't it? He doesn't announce it straight away. It doesn't even say in the caption like that he is leaving or he says goodbye or anything. It's just but you just don't really know what's going on. You could obviously guess what was happening by the way it was building the suspense and everything, but it was very disappointing news, of course. It's been, like you say, the best Premier League player for the last 10 years, one of Liverpool's greatest ever players, controversially recently with Carragher making his list of that. But yeah, probably the right time for him to go, though, and hopefully between now and the end of the season, he can have that fairy tale ending. Hopefully we get a Champions League for him to lift.
Yeah, literally. I think that's the big thing that I'd say a lot of people are hoping that he gets that. But Brian, do you think that he's washed, or what's your opinion on him?
I think anyone that have that ready. But listen, I think anyone that watches my platform will know how I feel about Salah, and I'll go into a little bit of detail with it. I don't think he's washed. I do think there's probably a level of him that has dropped off, but I think that's naturally going to happen with age. I still think that he's one of the best players in the league. I still think he's probably our most threatening attacker overall, and I think over the course of this season he's been scapegoated a lot of the time, and there's been a lot of players that have been scapegoated. So for me, I've never really felt he's washed. I think the manager hasn't used them right, and I'm quite confident in saying that wherever he goes, if he stays in Europe, he'll prove a lot of people wrong next season. And I was just hoping that it was going to be for Liverpool, but unfortunately not.
Max, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mo Salah's washed at all. I think he's a victim of his own standards, especially last season. What he was doing for us basically carried us to the title all by himself, especially now you look back in hindsight and how we've been this season. But yeah, I don't know. I think a fall off was expected. You look at his age. Brian said it there. I think he has been scapegoated at times and maybe not used in the right tactical roles. I don't think his role has really changed enough. I think he should have been moved towards the centre of goal much more this season, but instead he's been out wide, isolated. That hasn't helped him. Obviously, there's new players around him. He's lost maybe an extra yard of pace as well, but I don't think he's washed. I do think it's the right decision, however, though. I wouldn't want it to go for another year where performances keep on declining and then maybe, our fans criticize him even more. I feel like the timing of the announcement was actually correct in the end, just before or in between the international break, obviously. Yeah.
It's interesting. I think I would say Liverpool are a better team right now without him, like in the team. I think the thing is with Salah is that at the age that he's at now, if he's not contributing with goals and assists, he's not contributing to the team. Do you know what I mean? Like defensively, like even last season, I wouldn't say he contributed that much defensively, but he was getting so much in terms of his output that like you would almost like accept that. Do you know what I mean? I think the fact that he's not getting that, and for him himself, he's like so much as an output player. Like that's what he wants. He doesn't want to be someone that's fancy. I remember him talking about it in an interview before, and he was like, he had a conversation with Arsene Wenger, and he was like, you're going to need to step up in certain moments, and you need to be the one that is there to deliver for your team. And I think that's what he kind of is one of the reasons why he's so clinical, because he's like, I don't want to be like heavily involved in the game. I just want to be there when the moment comes to me that I'll take my opportunity. But I think this season he hasn't had that, and then defensively he's not contributing. So like, in terms of the scapegoat comment, Brian, that you said, obviously Salah said that as well in his interview, and I think that's when maybe the relationship started to break down a little bit. But I wouldn't say he's been scapegoated. I think that's probably a bad way of putting it. No, like I think like he just hasn't been performing, and like he probably rightly came out of the team.
But Jamie, sorry, you say that we're a better team without him. I mean, if we had an adequate replacement, I'd agree with you. But there's literally no one to take his spot on that right hand side. Whenever Liverpool played without Salah this season, I mean, in my opinion, we look worse. Like we might look more balanced defensively, but going forward, there's much less of a threat, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But do you not think like the threat? Like I think we look better defensively, but I think I definitely do agree we're probably not as good at attacking, but we're just so there's less balance in the team. I would say. I think that's probably the better way to put it. Like because he's always going to be trying to be involved in the game, getting touches, and like sometimes they just don't come off. But I think when we play three in midfield, and then you have maybe like Wirtz in the front three, and then you have almost a 4-man midfield essentially, because I don't think Wirtz can play in a 3-man midfield right now. I think we get overrun too easily. But like, I just think with Salah, it's like, for me, it's like output or nothing. I don't think he's always been like that. I think that's unfair to say. I think a lot of people criticize him like that, but I think it's output or nothing right now because of the age that he's at, and it's just like normal. I do agree with you, Max, to say that maybe moving maybe as like almost a centre forward or in a two-man forward like we've seen in 21-22 would be a better way of using him, but just use him on the right wing. He can't impact the game in the way that he should. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you look at like an evolution of a player like that, Ronaldo. There came a point in his career where he had to move central because it was like you were saying, it was like output or nothing really. He wasn't one to contribute defensively either. So I think that needed to happen with Salah this season, but it hasn't. And yeah, you mentioned the balance there. The balance of the squad has been wrong all season long. I think we can all agree on that, can't we?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I think it is because it's when the problem is when Salah and Gakpo are in the same team. I think you touched on it there, Jamie. If you had Wirtz on the left to sort of create that 4-man midfield that we saw, was it Galatasaray where we used a bit more of a narrow formation where Salah and Ekitike are up front next to each other? I think that really works, and obviously, like Max says, it gets Salah more centrally, it gets him closer to goal. But when he's playing out wide and Gakpo's on the other side, like neither of them are particularly good at pressing. We know Ekitike isn't the best at pressing either. Can't play 90 minutes, so we lose that defensive stability when they're both in the side 100%. I do think we looked a lot better, like you say, defensively. There was more balance in the team when Szoboszlai was on the right, but we did lose every single bit of creativity in the team during that December period.
Yeah, I just think if we had better attackers, like what Max said, if we had better attackers to maybe 100%. Bring in and substitute, then I don't think we would be talking about having him in the team as much. That would be like kind of, and I think this is going to be the big thing. It's like, do you replace him because I don't think bringing in a right winger is like the direction, or to talk about like the squad balance. Like, is a right winger necessarily what we need when we're going to have Isak and Ekitike? Gakpo might go on. You know what I mean? Are we going to play with a 4-3-3, or is it time for a change in the way we actually play? Because I think a lot of people, I think we've become so accustomed to Klopp and Klopp's style of football, but like I think a lot of people don't want to see anything else. But I don't mind change, but it's obviously a big change that you're going to have to make, and a lot of makeup with the players that we have now. But I think with the two forwards that you have, you almost have to play the two of them because they are going to be, like, I think, so good together.
Yeah.
You've got.
Well, I don't think there's another player out there that can play on the right hand side like Mohamed Salah has done for us for years. So I don't think there's a like for like replacement in terms of.
You are replacing him for what he is this season, though. Like, I think there's many players
No,
that could come in and replace him this season.
Possibly, but I think don't even go there. I think Alexander Isak is that replacement for goals, though. I don't think we need to find a replacement for Salah in terms of the player.
Yeah,
we need to find a replacement for the goals and contributions. So that's why I don't think looking at a right winger like everyone's saying Elise, which isn't realistic. I think I would go out and get somebody, maybe not a Diamande, but that sort of profile that is going to just come into the team and possibly work the ball a bit better in those sort of situations.
Yeah, I do agree.
It comes down to what formation we really want to go down. Like, we need to pick in the summer, and it needs to be clear and obvious with the recruitments that we have. If you're going to play two up top and you want Isak and Ekitike, then make that pretty obvious. I don't know if that's really a long-term thing to have like maybe a box midfield, which we've seen at times with no wingers. I think at times in the season, you're always going to need maybe to use a 4-3-3 and get wingers. So I don't know. We'll see in the summer, but that's one thing that I definitely want from the board and the recruitment to just have a clear vision, because I don't think that's been there this season at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a big shake-up. Like, I think a lot of people, obviously last season, like the amount of changes, I don't think anyone was expecting Liverpool to go out and spend 450 million and fucking break the record transfer for, what is it? No, did it break it twice?
Did it twice, did it for twice.
I was trying to think it was Verts over the 100 million of Rice and Casado and Enzo. But yeah, like they go out and spend that much money. But like, I was chatting with I don't know if you know Josh. He's a big on Josh Williams. There's Josh Williams. Yeah, he's big on Twitter. I was chatting with him a few weeks ago, and he's like, obviously the manager needs to be getting more out of players, but I just think he needs more players. And people don't want to say that, but he does. Like, he needs players that fit what he's trying to do with the squad. Because at the end of the day, he doesn't have the players to be able to play in the way that he wants. And I think that's what it comes down to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think
at some point, after, like, I don't think he's adapted much this season. I was very much in that boat. I've defended Slot, like, up until that Spurs game recently. I've said, like, the fact that we don't have wingers, I think, and when we don't have the wingers, the press, the energetic ones like Nunes, not a winger, but, attacker, Diaz last season, we didn't really replace the intensity in the attack. That definitely got worse with bringing in Isak and Ekitike. That then exposes the likes of McAllister and Gravenberch in midfield, because they don't have loads of athleticism. So I do agree with that. But then, you know what I mean? Like, you should be beating Spurs at home, Leeds at home, things like that. That's why.
But there's no proof of it either, though.
Say again?
There's no proof of it even this season, though. Like, look, we can talk about the league title last year, but over the last 12, 14 months, I don't even know what our identity is meant to be or what he is actually trying to do with that squad. That's my issue with giving him another couple 100 million and saying, I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but to go, get a couple more players in, because we get a couple more players in that don't suit the next manager that come in. I would rather just not scrap the project because you have the players, but to try find something different as a manager.
Yeah, I think in the summer that we'll definitely be looking to sign players that will suit Slot's system, but also that can play in another system as well, 100%. There's no way we'll be all in on this Slot project. He's not even got a new deal, has he? He's only got a year left now, so there's not a chance that we'll just be buying players for him.
I think you could also make an argument that Slot has driven a lot of our squad depth out of the club because of how little he used them. Like last season, like Konsa, Tyler Morton, Harvey Elliott. Why did they want to leave? It's because they weren't being given opportunities or minutes that they have deserved.
Even Rio this season, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. And then maybe he can't work with a big squad because he doesn't, I don't know, he seems to have clear favourites and he doesn't like to rotate that much. Then, in the modern...
No Gakpo slander.
In the modern game, you need you need a big squad. Like you can't
Yeah.
go in every competition these days. You know how he threw the Carabao Cup, even played
Yeah,
all
that was
those
embarrassing.
youngsters. I don't know. I think it's partly down to him. Our balance of the squad this season. It's a mixture of so many things. Like I've been asked so many times by friends or anything like, well, what's gone wrong then? And like, where'd you start? Honestly, where'd you start? Yeah,
Yeah, literally. Do you know what's interesting though? I think there's actually there's definitely on social media, I would say a lot more people are slot out. But if you maybe talk to like some older Liverpool fans, the ones that have like kind of sat through the last 30, 40 years, up until like basically majority of the Premier League, a lot of them will say like he deserves to stay on because of what he did last year. I think a lot of fans that maybe started watching football in the last, like say Klopp era, or just like maybe Brendan Rodgers from that kind of specific period, a lot of them are like, it's not good enough. It's different. It's interesting to hear like the difference of opinions, because like I'm kind of in between both. I'm like, yes, he deserves more time, and I think the end of the season would be that time, and he needs to do something from now until the end of the season, whether that's get through against PSG or he definitely needs to get Champions League. Do you know what I mean? I think that's like an absolute must. Yeah, that's the minimum, especially with the amount of money spent, and the quality is there from the players. That's the frustrating part. But like the difference in like how some people perceive it, because like a league title for Liverpool is huge. Like Klopp obviously came in and did what he did, and he won one. Do you know what I mean? I know he's coming up against a very good Man City team, but like, I don't know. It's kind of, it feels un-Liverpool to sack a manager that won a league 12 months ago, if that makes sense.
But I agree with that, but I also think off that the standard has been raised off the fact of that transfer window and off the fact that we won the league so convincingly. So there's a part of me that would agree with you, Jamie, with that whole point of, yeah, give him the time. And I would give him the time at this point. There's no point in sacking him now, but it is the fact that we've built these standards now. I feel like we should live in them. And look, I've seen Liverpool under Hodgson, I've seen Liverpool under Rodgers, and in the worst times, but you know, when it's time to go, I think it is time to go, unfortunately. And I do get why the older fans probably feel that more connection, like we've seen with Gerrard today, saying he deserves that time. But
John Barnes said it as well.
Yeah. You know, that's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? They like, because they've seen the bad. They like, this isn't bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is, we're just not performing at a level that like is the expectations have changed over like the last kind of 10 years. And that's a good thing in a sense of, it's kind of like, I don't want to say entitlement, but like definitely like a raised standard. But like they've seen us in the, and like, you know, see what United, see what everyone else. But like, I don't know, he's definitely going to get into the end of the season, but I think it's Champions League a must. But I'll do a few comments because we have a few people coming in. Thank you very much for joining. If you're just coming in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It's our very first live, lads, but we're here every Thursday and Monday. But let me know your thoughts on Arnie's slot. Let me just see. Yeah, so the amount of times this season Slot said he prefers a smaller squad is made though. It's not about players. Slot's just incompetent. I think this is a lot of the sentiment. There's another one. Slot's just a muppet. Should have posted the hard one back in. Slot is so stubborn he refused to use the player he has. Rio for the last 6 months of the season, and Chiesa still he doesn't use the squad. Yeah, that's a good point, like Max was saying. Do you guys see Isak and Ekatike up front with Wirtz in behind, or would you play Isak or Ekatike? This is gonna be, it's kind of like obviously with the Salah question, right? And like this, we're gonna talk a little bit about the squad as well later on, but like this is going to be a big question going forward. So like Salah's going to be leaving. It's like, how do you change the squad? And like the play, like from your point of view, would you have any players in mind that you're thinking Liverpool have to go after him? I know Max, you said Diamande. Brian, you said Elise might not be the right replacement. Like, is there any people in mind that Liverpool have to go out and buy to improve their squad?
In terms of attackers or just anyone?
Yeah, I'd say maybe with attackers, because obviously Salah's leaving, but like I think there's definitely a case probably for left back, centre back, midfield, but like I think attackers probably first and foremost.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a specific name. You look at the likes of Diamande. I'm a big fan of Gold, and I think we need, like I said, press and wingers that like just bringing the intensity back into the attack. The problem with Ekatike and Isak, I'm not sure playing them both together, you're not getting the absolute best out of them both. Like one of them has to sort of compromise their game. You know what I mean? If it's a front two, both of them like drifting out to the left. So it's a front two. You've got one of them playing on the right, not usually where they want to play. If it's Ekitike starting on the left wing and Isak striker, you know what I mean? And you just put in, what's the saying? Square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're doing. But.
Don't you think Ekitike could play in that little just like off him like centre forward like
I saying that at the start of the
season. For France.
When he played there, I think he came off the bench there against United and he looked really good just playing in the hole like behind Isak. Isak obviously being the one to pin the defenders, stretch the team, but then giving Ekitike that space where he can just carry the ball because that's probably his biggest strength, isn't it? It's carrying his link-up play.
Yeah, like then you probably eliminate him running in behind because I think that's a huge asset to his game as well. But in terms of attackers, no one really comes to my mind. But I think that's because we don't know what formation we're going to go down, what system we're going to go down. You mentioned obviously attackers, but for me, midfield is a huge one. I need to see a number 6. Need to see a number 6 signed, man, 100%.
I feel like every player is like 100 million. Like it's just like the step, like Elliot Anderson, Wharton, Diamande, Elise. It's like if you want to improve your squad, you need to spend 100 million nowadays. Do you know what I mean? And that's just like the standard, like since probably Enzo. I know Neymar, like he changed a little bit, but like Enzo, Caicedo, Royce, and now everyone's 100 million. Like that is the benchmark. But like, are Liverpool going to go out and spend 100 million on a winger, 100 million on a DM? Like, are they going to spend how much are they going to spend in the summer?
See, I have a hot take with this, right? With this whole squad, I think this squad and this actual team is good enough to win the league next year, or at least challenge for it again. Like, I don't think this is like, we need to go and change everything. There's a spine of that team that needs to change, but I do think there's aspects that are good. Like that midfield probably needs a bit of a shake up. I wouldn't say you're looking at that team down, taking out Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Maybe McAllister's the one that needs to shift away. You look at that defense. We've already signed a defender in Jacket, so then if you can keep Kanate, possibly, I don't think Kwanzaa would come back or anything like that, but you have that sort of core 3 centre halves. Maybe Gomez might stay or something, or you might sign a replacement.
Leone,
Leone as well is back. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. And then you have your 2 fullbacks. You probably need to sign a right back, but in terms of left back, you're probably going to get Tisamikas back. He's back up to Kirkes, and then Alisson and Mamardashvili. I don't think a lot needs to change. I just think they should go with the 2 up top from this point on. That's why I think Ekitike and Isak replace Salah's numbers, not as a player, but just more of the numbers because they're elite and quality players.
Yeah. No,
Go on, Max. Go on.
No, I actually agree. It's not as bad as we think because rewind to the start of this season. How excited were all of we about the season, with the squad, the transfer window that we had? I was convinced we were going to go back to back, and obviously it hasn't panned out that way. But the ability in this squad is actually it's frightening. It just hasn't been utilized in the correct way, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. Like I've had throughout the season, it's like I see how good so many of these players are, and we're just not performing. Like even like you see some of the games. Like I remember the Newcastle game. You think about like the game against Galatasaray, like the levels that they've shown in individual moments. But like Frankfurt. At the end of the Frankfurt. But at the end of the day, like that's not a good team. That's like I used to during the season I've been calling us a moments team. Like we reverted to becoming a moments team. And I think like Brian, you touched on it, is like what's the style of this team? And I think that's something that a lot of Liverpool fans, you try and resonate with something that you're seeing on the pitch. So even when it's going wrong, you can still see like what you're trying to do. But I think a lot of Liverpool fans haven't seen that. So like we're just relying on individual brilliance to try and get us out of trouble. But like on the point of like next season and like can we win a league? It's difficult because I think Alisson's probably he has a year left on his deal now. I think after this season, Van Dijk has a year left. Robertson's probably going to go. McAllister might leave. Salah's obviously going. Gakpo, there's talk of Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich. Like there's a lot of change within the team. I think we probably didn't get it right from a player profile perspective last season, but if we don't get it right this season, then like I think we could go the other way. Do you know what I mean?
For Manchester United at that point, then let's be honest. That is the next couple of years.
No, that's 12 years down the line. Not two.
I mean more so what they are in terms of an individually quality team. Like there's players that are individually good, but And like when they had Pogba and stuff, for example, that sort of
Yeah.
team, I think we could be going around that route if we don't get it right.
Yeah.
this time.
After next summer, sorry, is it's the end of like fully the end of the Klopp era. Obviously, he left in 2024, but we've seen the legends carry on from that. But when Van Dijk probably goes, Alisson, Robertson will be gone. Obviously, Salah as well. It's like stepping into the unknown, and it's pretty nerve-wracking to me. I can't lie.
Yeah. No, yeah. 100%. It's just a change. You know what I mean? I think we're all just nervous of change because I think even with like when we were coming up with Klopp, and this is what I think as well, like it's kind of a difficult thing for Klopp. Like Klopp had the ability to take risk and get it wrong because people were a bit more, they weren't, as we talked about the standards earlier on, like they didn't have those high standards, those high expectations. Like if you say have a bad season and you finish third, then it's like, okay, do you know what I mean? It's like, we can go again. We can get it right. We know where we're going. Whereas I think with this team right now, it's like, if we get it wrong again, like it's going to kind of get messy really quickly. So it is a bit nerve wracking, but I suppose it kind of comes down to, are they going to stick with Slot? Are they going to go with a new manager?
That's a big question.
Yeah. And I think just bring me on to the next talking point. Gerrard was talking in the media today and on the overlap.
Legend.
I think, obviously, listen, I think a lot of Liverpool fans, with how bad we've been, some of them have maybe said, bring in Gerrard, get the feel-good factor back. I've never been of that opinion. I don't know what user like. But what did you make of his comments? For anyone who didn't see his comments, he said that he would like to manage Liverpool someday, but right now he knows that he's probably not at that level. But is it something that you'd see in the future? Would you like him to come in, like to bring in that feel-good factor? Had you had that opinion earlier on in the season? What are your thoughts?
Go on, boys.
Well, I've said it a couple of times, but I think it's more like an empty glass sort of thing. I've said it, but not really meant it. I do think he does instantly bring back that feel-good factor of like, it's Gerrard. I think if you asked everyone here, we would all happily take Gerrard tomorrow if it was, just to see him manage Liverpool. But off the actual fact of would he actually do an English league, at least he's honest about it. I don't think he would. I don't think we get Gerrard and win the Champions League. I just think there's that factor of, Steven Gerrard manages our club, but no, it's definitely not the right time for him.
Like Lampard at Chelsea.
Exactly. You obviously get a little bit of a feel-good factor just on who it is, but I don't think it'd be the right time.
I do think we'd qualify for the Champions League under him though, and I'm not sure if we would under Slot. I'm not saying he's going to take us on a cuppa or anything like that, but I do think he would lift the mood. The fans want to see something, and he knows if there's anyone that knows what a Liverpool fan wants to see, it's probably Steven Gerrard. You know what I mean? So I would back him to get his top 5 between now and the end of the season, just because of the new manager bounce, really, the positivity that it would bring probably to the players and the fans. But definitely not long. I wouldn't want him on a permanent. No chance.
That for me, I've called for it a few times this season, but purely on an interim basis because we've hit some serious lows this season at points, and I've just wanted someone to come in and kind of raise the standards. And I've always said there's no way the players, if Steven Gerrard's walking in and coaching you, there's no way the players won't lift their ability. And I feel like, standards, like a bit of fear factor, a bit of respect. The guy's just got crazy aura. And I'm not saying he's the greatest coach because I don't think, he is. He hasn't got the CV to back that up. But just be a purely interim thing for me. But I think the time's gone now. There's no point in doing it.
I think in fairness to him, like he was like, in the interview, he said, I know I'm not good enough. I would like to maybe go in as I don't know if he was maybe throwing his reference out, and he was like, I don't mind going in as like a backup, but like if someone wants to bring me in, I'd say he's like messaging Alonso under the counter, being like, listen, if you're going to Liverpool, bring me with you. We go win a league. Because I think I would say he probably knows that he's not going to be able to manage Liverpool. I think his reputation now as a manager, I think it'd be difficult to come back, especially I know he said he got offered maybe some teams in the Championship, which is probably where he'll have to start and like build his way up. But like he would probably be happy to go in as a team, as just like someone that's in the squad and like obviously working with like a better manager. Because he said I remember, what was it, the Aston Villa game when they were 2-0 up and all he had to do was hang on for like 20 minutes, but then Guardiola made like 10 changes. And he's like, the players just flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted. What's going on? And then they can see 3 and lose the title. So like, I think stuff like that, I think he would give the players energy, but I just think even at that, it's like, would he be able to get us over the line in maybe, like, would Slot be able to get his team over the line? I think so, in the Champions League spots. Would he be able to win us the Champions League? I think we have a better chance with Slot win the Champions League than we would Gerrard, in my opinion.
We've been pretty good in the Champions League this season.
I
can't even knock our Champions League run so far, to be honest. I'm not too confident. Yeah, apart from that first leg. But I mean, I'm not too confident for the PSG games, but something in me does think we can turn up against these big teams. We've done it a few times this season, but maybe that's just the hope. I don't know. And for the second leg.
Yeah, I'm going to the second leg. I got tickets. But hopefully, I'm like, do not get absolutely battered in the first leg, and then I'm going to Anfield. That'll be a nightmare. But Lewis here, Beyond the Cop, we did a stream yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, for endometriosis. I hope I'm saying it right. It was really, really good stream. I got a lot of good people on, but thank you for the comment, brother. Gerrard is definitely the option if we're looking to bring some positive energy and a feel-good factor, but he's absolutely not ready for the full-time job. Beyond this season, we need experience. Yeah, I think that's kind of the main consensus right now. So, like, I suppose that kind of does bring it on to, if Slot was to be sacked, and if you want Slot sacked, who would you bring in as the successor? I think Alonso is kind of the one a lot of people go to, and I think that comes down a lot to, like, the emotional connection as much as anything. But what do you think? Who would your go-to manager be for Liverpool next?
The one that's coming to Anfield in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you could pick anyone, I'd go Luis Enrique.
Luis Enrique, 100%. He's the all-time, the only one I really want. But I think I've built in my mind now that Alonso is the one that's going to take over if Slot is sacked. So I've kind of dropped the Enrique stuff. But if I had to pick anyone, it's Enrique. I think he would get it straight away.
He combines everything like you need. Like the style of football is good, the experience is there, and
egos.
Klopp sort of personality, I feel like, as well. Not in terms of obviously the theatrics, but in terms of just getting it and connecting with the fans.
For sure. Yeah.
Thing is, though, I don't think. Oh, go on, Max.
No, after you.
Oh, nice one. I don't think he would come in this, like, sort of, if you call it regime, the structure that we have now with, like, Slot being the head coach. Luis Enrique isn't a head coach. He's a manager. He'll want full control of everything. That's probably the biggest reason, probably the only reason why I don't think it would work at Liverpool. But then again, there's been a lot of rumours recently that Richard Hughes is going to be leaving, Michael Edwards is going to be leaving. The whole structure could change within the next year. So, yeah, he definitely is the best manager, but I don't think he's a head coach. I think problems could be caused a couple of years down the line with that.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, obviously the PSG thing, like, they obviously have, like, I wouldn't say like it's the same thing, but they obviously have a hierarchy where, like, they make the decisions, like they buy the players. But when he went in, he was like, I want to change things, and I think this is the direction that we should go in. And they said to get him in, they were like, right, we're going to make those changes. And then obviously I know they wanted to keep Mbappe or at least get a fee from him. But since he went, they obviously went on and he was able to get more out of those players and bring back that camaraderie that I think does resonate a lot with Liverpool fans. And I think that I definitely agree with you, Max and Brian, like that kind of that passion that maybe Slot doesn't have. And I think he gets a lot of criticism for that as well. It's like he doesn't have the passion, he doesn't have that connection, but I just don't think that's his personality. And last year it came across as like together, it came across as like a shoot. He was forward, he was direct, and everyone loved that because he was just honest with how he came across. But now when you lose a few games, it's like, that doesn't swing. That doesn't swing. You know what I mean? You need to get us back on side. And I just think when you're winning, it's good, but when it's going tough, like, you need to get the fans behind you. And I think Liverpool fans, they respond to like passion. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't think that Slot is that type of guy.
Coming straight off Klopp, it's more noticeable as well. But
yeah, that's very true.
If you're winning games, it's not a problem. It wasn't a problem for any of us last season, but it has been this season. Have you guys got any left field shouts for a manager? I think, Liam, you said Nagelsmann before when we spoke.
Yeah, I'm big on. I think Nagelsmann's my number one choice, to be honest. I do
really?
like Alonso. Yeah, Nagelsmann, 100%. I think he's probably. obviously, I'm pretty sure he got clowned at Bayern because he used to. Did he not used to turn up to Bayern Munich training on a skateboard and like the players had no respect for him basically. But
And you're saying you want these guys are manager. Imagine him skateboarding into the axle. Oh my god.
That'll be cool. But no, in terms of tactics, you see how that Germany team play. We're going to see it again in the summer. Germany are going to go far in the World Cup, but you saw them in the Euros. I think they were probably, until being knocked out by Spain, obviously getting knocked out in extra time late on, wasn't it? They were the best team in the Euros. He's got the resume, even from Hoffenheim. Like when we were playing Hoffenheim in like 2017, he was their manager. He's got a good pedigree, pressing football, but possession football too. I think one thing with Alonso, I struggle with it because he does have a good pressing structure, better than Slot. But the one thing that people complain about with Slot is the fact that the team is so like slow in build up. Alonso's structure is even slower in my opinion. So I think you're going to run into the same problems there. Obviously with a 5 at the back as well, if he does go with that, that's probably not the ideal thing. But I would 100% take Alonso. Alonso's in my top. I'd say my top 3 are Alonso, Nagelsmann. I like Fabregas. You know, it probably is too early for Fabregas, but he's flying at Como.
Yeah,
too early.
Too early. Yeah, it is a bit early, but like I think he's definitely gonna have a big career in management. Just 100%. Gets it, you know.
They're like in Serie A though.
Yeah, they're flying. It's interesting because I think Enrique, obviously, there's no real big managers on the market, and then if you're going to say get Enrique, you have to go to PSG if he's going to stay. I know he can maybe move in the summer and stuff, but like Nagelsmann's obviously at the World Cup. Then yeah, like Alonso is free now, but it's like I wouldn't say there's a standout candidate, if that makes sense. So like obviously when Rodgers was going, it was like there was like go for Klopp. Do you know what I mean? I remember Carragher saying it was Klopp and Ancelotti. He was like, Liverpool's a big job, and I think you should go for someone who has the energy. And I think this Liverpool team right now I wouldn't say they're like as down in the dumps, but like I think they need someone to come in and just like completely just push them on and be like, get their confidence back. I know how good you are. Like go out and show it. This is what you need to do that. Just take those instructions on board and do it. I think that's I would probably lean to Enrique a little bit more because like he probably has a bit more assurance about him. I think I'd be interested to see how Alonso's confidence is after the Madrid thing. Like would his confidence be a little bit knocked from like how that went and managing those type of like players and egos? So Nagelsmann is I haven't heard that one as much, so that is a bit of a wrong
No, it's
show.
difficult, isn't it? Because of the World Cup, like it's very unlikely because we wouldn't be, bringing a manager in what, like, not August, but late July. It's not going to happen. But I would like to see a manager for one day. He's still young, isn't he? Young manager.
Yeah. Lewis says, bring in Onus as Stuttgart manager is tactically adaptable to 4 and 3 at the back. Took Stuttgart from relegation battle to top 4 in the Bundesliga and won the DFB Pokal. Loves a narrow front 3 and wing backs. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it is. It's going to be up in the air, and that's why I think we obviously talked about the players. We talked about manager. We talked about obviously the World Cup. There's going to be so much changes. Even the hierarchy at Liverpool, like are they going to be there? I think this summer is going to be just crazy. I think it's probably going to be more crazy than last year, if I'm being honest.
Could Jurgen Klopp come back?
I didn't even consider him,
He's always the first choice in every single thing I'd say. I'd seen him at Anfield last week, brought it back, like doing the fist pumps again. I would honestly, if the structure's getting ripped up, he's the first person I'd go to and say, whatever you want, come back.
I think if Edwards and Ting left, like I think that would be more likely for him to come back. But I still think even at that, it's just like miles off.
He did say he wants to come back to managing, though. He didn't say he was done. I'm pretty sure. He didn't say he
wants to. He alluded to
the fact that he does.
He said he retired that last year, and he was like so certain on saying he retired. Then he said he wasn't retired.
Yeah.
Then he said he was retired again.
The door's opening.
Documentary he was retired.
Yeah, the door's opening now. I think he's getting tempted back in. Not specifically with Liverpool, maybe other jobs, but I think
when Nagelsmann comes to Liverpool,
maybe potentially.
Maybe.
It's weird. Go on,
I like about Nagelsmann, he's quite very tactically astute. Plays different systems, so I would like to see that and high pressing football, which obviously is a massive thing in front of Anfield.
Do you think Slot is like reverted a little bit? Because I think last year he was adaptable. Remember like the Fulham game when we went down to 10 men, he played like three. Was it like he played three, and Gakpo was playing like right wing back, and he didn't mind changing things. I remember the Man United game. After the game, we won. Old Trafford, he came out and he's like, I seen that they were playing this way, and then I made some tactical changes to, I think it was Casemiro was like leaving too much space. So I feel like tactically, maybe it's just that thing where like sometimes it goes right, it depends on the players and stuff, but I feel like tactically last season he was so much better, whereas this season either he's been afraid to make as many changes, or the changes that he has made just haven't come off as much. What do you think?
Do you know who I'd put it down to? And I'm not saying it's true, but last season we had Johnny Heitinger, obviously. What does Giovanni Van Bronckhorst do? I don't know what his role is. Like I want someone to come out and say this is what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is actually doing and telling the team. Clearly he's got some sort of impact on the club. And I'm not obviously not putting the results down to him. Slot obviously is making decisions too, clearly.
He should have some sort of capability to have some sort of input. I wouldn't say a lot of it, but there's a chunk of that is definitely his fault. And then I seen him last week coming out and saying something about he might be leaving or he doesn't know what his future
He's been linked with like national team jobs, and I'm thinking like,
Indonesia.
what have you done?
He's so forgettable though. Like I forget that he's even when we score, like where is he? Like at least with Heitinger, I felt his presence a bit.
This guy's the two ball lads celebrating on the touchline. Yeah, I suppose it's just one of those questions that we're going to have, I suppose. But I suppose talking about the football this season, obviously, the game against Brighton was probably not the best way to finish on an international break. I think every Liverpool fan after the Galatasaray game was saying, brilliant, but now follow it up against Brighton. Do not lose against Brighton. Do not have us miserable for the next 2 weeks, and then the most predictable things happen. We go and play absolutely shocking and lose.
You know, it was predictable, wasn't it?
It was.
The thing about it.
Salah was injured as well.
That was it. After probably one of our best performances of the season against Galatasaray, I just had zero confidence that we'd back it up, because Brighton are a good team. But yeah, actually for me it was when Ekitike came off injured. I thought that's basically it.
I think, do you know what, actually, like we were talking about Slot's tactical changes, I think the fact that he took off Ekitike and brought on Jones, like I think that was a big mistake. I think like you're playing against a team where you don't have like loads of attacking potential on the pitch. You don't have a Salah, don't have Ekitike, don't have Isak, versus obviously like he was just coming back from his injury, he was still kind of feeling his way into the game. Like Rio should have been like straight away should have been on. It's just he changes the game, and like we had no attacking output in the first half, and then in the second half he was obviously trying to get onto things, but we just couldn't build any momentum in the game, and I feel like we just fizzled out. We didn't really did we create anything from what I remember? Not really.
Jones
in the second half.
Jones actually had two chances, I think. But I agree with that. Rio should have been the change made. I feel like again though, you can blame that tactical change, but like Ekitike coming off just from a dead leg alone was pretty poor. Especially seeing the next, was it 2 days later he's rocking into France training like he's the man, and it's like come on, man. I love Ekitike. I love him so much, but I felt for him when he came off. I was like, oh, Milner could have hit him hard there, but hearing it was a dead leg and he was fresh afterwards was really disappointing. And it doesn't help Slot. You have the blueprint, you lose Salah, and then you lose Ekitike. It's not ideal, is it?
I don't think the players fancied that game. Early kickoff. No. Probably after they exerted so much energy against Galatasaray, because that's probably one of the games where I've seen us put so much into it physically, but we haven't got the team or the squad at the minute to rotate. So when we were going again 3 days later, early kickoff, Brighton obviously be up for it. I could just see what was coming, and the second half was very painful. Even the first half, we didn't really create much. They even gifted us our goal, basically. Yeah,
literally, it was infuriating, and it's just, that's the thing. It's just like no Liverpool fan on the back of such a good result should feel nervous going into a game like that. They should feel confident. They should feel like the team is going to go out and put in another good performance. But I think this season we've just become so accustomed to the team letting us down that we were just like a little bit nervous. We're like, right, go back it up now. And then we knew that they just weren't going to do it. Yeah, but it's, I don't know.
But that's it. Brighton should have been the team that were nervous though, considering the performance we put in. I'd say they fancied it completely.
Yeah, 100%.
It backs up the point though. We need squad depth. Like you can look at it. We put so much intensity and like effort into that Galatasaray game. Like Max says, then we're playing the half 12, the first game back, the latest Champions League game, and then the first English game. So then we don't have the squad depth for that. But then even like you say, when Ekitike comes off, I know we have Isak, but like our bench this season has been so poor. Like Slot has basically no options apart from Jones on the bench. I know he's got Ngamoa and Chiesa. So I don't think either of them players though are going to give you 80 minutes. So I think I can understand from that point of view why they didn't come on. But it was poor. There definitely should have been change before that. Like Rio Ngamoa came on in like the 70th minute, didn't he, or 65th or something. There should have been change at half time, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, I think he obviously forced into that change with Ekitike. He was like, right, I'm going to just see how things go. But we're just so flat.
That's what I mean. He should have been seeing that. Like we could all see it. Like there was nothing. Because I thought we started the game quite well, to be honest. Wirtz was getting on the ball quite a lot. Like when Ekitike was on the pitch, we were the better side. But then as soon as he comes off, completely flat until half time. And something needs to be changed then. Like you say, like you talked about the changes, he was braver last season. You need to take those risks at half time. But it takes him until about the 70th minute to then throw Ngamoa on the pitch. And again, he was our best player like he has been every time he has come on recently.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people scapegoat Wirtz after that game as well, or criticise him. For me, that wasn't the game, because he was the only one even looking to create anything.
Yeah.
And how can you blame him when he picks up the ball and he looks ahead and he's got everyone
no runners
wanting to come to the ball? The most likely player to run in behind is Gakpo, and he actually fed Gakpo through in the first half, and he done a classic.
He needs runners, doesn't he? And you know what? Like with that, I actually think. Could you imagine Wirtz in like a Liverpool team with like Salah and Mane? Like it would be very similar to Coutinho, but I think this team, and this is why I think Rio was so standout when he's in the team. We don't have any pace. Yeah. We literally have no pace. I think Ekitike is someone that when he gets in behind, he opens up his legs, but he's not someone that's like constantly making those runs. He likes to drop deep. He likes to get involved in the game. Isak might be a little bit with someone who's going to stand up there, but like that means if you're going to play wingers, you need pacey wingers because they stretch teams. You know what I mean? They open it up. They let your creative players get on the ball. And I think like when you had Mane and Salah, and I think they're probably two of the best wingers that your Liverpool are ever going to have. And probably two of the best wingers in the Premier League history in terms of a combination. But like that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to replace them. We've become too, I would say, slow, and I think that you can see that in the team. Like physically in midfield, we're probably not at that level, and then up front, we don't have the quick players to be able to impact the game in the way that they should.
You look at Wirtz for Germany, though. He's got runners in that team, and he plays well every single time. Like he's got Gnabry and Sane making runs, and he picks them out every single time. It's not a coincidence at all. I don't think we've got the right parts around him, and I definitely wouldn't have been, the one to criticize him after that game at all. But it's coming quiet.
It is a scapegoat. Like Salah was talking about being a scapegoat, but like he gets a lot of criticism because of the price tag. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thank you for everyone jumping in the comments. We have a few people in, 14 people in. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. As I said, this is our very first live. We're going to be coming to you every Monday and Thursday. And yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. This is good fun.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, I suppose, listen, I'll come on to City now in a second because I think that's obviously going to be a big game. But do any of you think we will beat City in the FA Cup? Great first live, by the way. Thank you, Cop Views. We're going to talk about that in a second. Just before we get on to it, I think we need to talk about the squad because obviously international breaks, we've had a few injuries. Jeremy Frimpong and Alisson are both going to be injured now for the game against City. Salah is coming back. Chiesa is still injured. He obviously didn't travel to Italy as they got knocked out. And then Isak is obviously the big news that he is back in training, which is good. Ekitike obviously played with France, so he'll be back as well. And yeah, I suppose with the squad, how are we feeling? Oh, sorry, did I say Frimpong? Yeah, Frimpong and Alisson. Like, how are we feeling about the squad going into, like, I'd say the next few games? Because I think we have City, Fulham, PSG, City, PSG, Fulham, PSG. So like the next 4 weeks, you would say, are gonna almost decide the season. Like if we get knocked out of the FA Cup, get knocked out of Champions League, then it's kind of
Well, seeing someone say on this month that this has the potential to be the greatest month of all time in Liverpool's history.
It was Greg.
Yeah, Greg said it, and I couldn't resonate with it tweet more because I just think like those fixtures, man, and this squad. I don't know. It's painful.
You're not confident.
I'm not confident at all, to be completely honest. But I'm going to keep the hope and try to stay positive.
Oh,
yes, Liam. At least someone is.
Come on, Liam.
He's always confident.
Come on, Liam.
You've got to do
No,
it.
Half the team, but I'm not confident.
I
It's
think
the hope that kills you. It's the hope that kills you.
Exactly.
I think the squad has just never got out of. It's just always been one hit after the other, like the Frimpong thing. You know, you think, oh, we've got a system now where he can thrive, and then picks up another injury. It just always feels like there's an injury around the corner to mess up the squad depth. And I think, I think you'll see that again on Saturday. We're gonna be going there with a thin squad. I haven't even thought about who's going to be playing right back too much, to be honest.
I think Frimpong is back though. Is he? I think I've seen something that he's fit. No,
no.
Is he? Frimpong is like he's. I don't know if he's. I think he trained individually today. I think, but like I wouldn't expect him to be risked.
He's not going to.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be in the squad. I thought Slot said that as presser. Yeah. But like I think I did a video. It's coming out now with a sec. I think actually. Yeah, it's scheduled. But like I was doing my. Team prediction for the City game. I think it has to be Gomez. Like if it's Jones or Szoboszlai and they're playing Doku, we're going to get absolutely rinsed. You know what I mean? I think Gomez definitely is. He's not as good on the ball, and I think Matt Sharpness might not be there. But I think he's a defender by nature. Do you know what I mean? He'll get stuck in and he'll try and make it difficult. But like I just don't want to see a midfielder against Doku because he'll just take it to the cleaners.
Oh, we saw him do that earlier on this season against us, so he can't be having another game like that because that was.
Do you know he's on his? I remember people were like, "Doku's like the best left winger," and I was like, "Lads, the only time he plays well is against Liverpool. He scored I think
or
that's
Trent.
Or Trent.
But he's about Belgian left wingers, honestly.
No, I think his stats. Like I think he has like 2 goals in the Premier League, and one of them against Liverpool. It's something mad. It's like his output is like. His output is terrible, but like he just turns it on against us every single time. He turns it on against us. So annoying.
I was guilty of that show, but I think only because I think I have every right to say as a Liverpool fan because I've only seen him terrorize us every single time.
Yeah, you were saying he was it's unbelievable.
He just flatters to deceive for me. Like he will go past the player and then turn back and try to go past them again. But we will need someone to try and do a job on him because he's very difficult to face 1v1. I'd go for Gomez as well. And then we'll see how the midfield kind of pans out. We need Szoboszlai in there for me, 100%.
Yeah, I was on Sky there last week, right? And they were saying. They said Szoboszlai wasn't in their top 10 best players of the season, and I was like, "What?" So I was like, I was in the pre-production. I was like, and then I jumped on. I was like making a face, and then they said, "You were making a face. Why were you making a face?" And I go, "He's the best midfielder in the league." And I go, "You're playing a right back." And I go, "Yeah, that's Slot, not me." But like he is, like he I think Bruno Fernandes, Declan Rice, Dominic Szoboszlai. I think those 3 have been the best midfielders in the Premier League this season. I think but I would say in terms of all round, I think Szoboszlai gives you everything that Rice does in terms of up and down the pitch, aggression, can come back and defend. But then like his impact on the game, I would say like he's had like obviously the goal against Arsenal, the goal against Man City, the goals in the Champions League, Inter Milan. Like he's had so many big goals for Liverpool and goal contributions that like. It might not be the same numbers as Bruno, but in terms of overall impact, I would say he's the best midfielder in the Premier League this season.
Yeah,
it's not a horrible shout.
I spoke to a United fan last week, to be fair, about this, and they put Szoboszlai ahead of Bruno, but they put Szoboszlai ahead of Bruno based off the fact that Szoboszlai is contributing in the game much more than Bruno might. But while Bruno's output is obviously incredible, he said what Szoboszlai does that people don't see, he would rather have in a player. And I think Bruno's probably hit that point now in his career where he's probably having that sort of Salah impact now where, off the ball, he's probably not doing a crazy amount, but on the ball, he can just turn it on in a second and that's it. Whereas Szoboszlai is obviously doing that stuff off the ball and on the ball. He's incredible.
Wouldn't mind Salah turning on this season.
Next season.
Where would you guys actually you, Sabozlai, because every preview I do and I'm making the lineup, I'm just always like, do you play him 10? Do you play him a little bit deeper? Because McAllister's just been awful in my opinion. And I just keep flirting between the two. I don't know what you guys think for Saturday.
Against City or long term?
Yeah, specifically Saturday.
Definitely, I'd say that. You know what? Again, I haven't put too much thought into it either. I'd say the 10 though, 100%. Yeah. You need him in that press, don't you?
I think McAllister's going to be. Well, we've seen it quite a lot when he returns from international break. He looks even more shot than before.
I don't have him starting. I take him out because I said that in my pre-match as well. I was like, I don't want him playing because he's coming back from Argentina. Do you know what I mean?
Like, he's quite a few minutes as well. So I'd probably start Curtis Jones, but Slot hasn't been a fan of him. Yeah, fan of him.
Do you think Jones will go in the summer? There's obviously talking into Milan in January.
Both could go. I think both McAllister and Jones could go, to be honest. I think that's genuinely
depends on the manager, though, I think.
Yeah, again, it does depend on the manager. 100%.
Jones stays if Slot isn't there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
McAllister probably goes full stop, and I think that would be the right thing. But I don't know. McAllister could easily start just based on the fact he's doing a tribute act to Slot with his haircut.
This is the McAllister laugh. I need to get that on the soundboard. Funny. McAllister's fallen off a cliff this season. It's like so many good players have just not been good, like at the same time. I think that's why, like, we've seen so many issues, and that's why we've talked about it on the stream. Like, there's been so many issues, not just Slot, like McAllister, Salah, like Isak's been injured, like Frimpong's been injured, Kanate hasn't been at the level, Alisson's has been a bit hit and miss. You know what I mean? Like, just so many issues all at once. But we still have to play one of the best teams in the league on Saturday. And listen, I think when the draw was made, everyone was like, just not City. Yeah. And predictable as the season has went, it was City away.
Had to be.
But how are we feeling for the game, I suppose? Are we confident? Do we feel, I don't know, Liam said he was confident, now he's not.
I'm confident for the rest of the season. I'm confident. I'm a lot more confident for the PSG game than the City game, to be honest.
Fair.
I think if there's anyone...
Liam has us stay on the double.
Go on, what'd you say, Brian?
I said you have us stay on the double by the sounds of it.
No, we're not winning the FA Cup. We are winning the Champions League, though. You heard it here first. We are lifting 7 in Budapest.
Yeah. Someone's like lifting it in Budapest.
In terms of the PSG game, I think if there's one person that knows how PSG play or should know how PSG plays, it's definitely Arne Slot with how much he knows about it. So he should know them inside out. He should know every single tactic.
That's why he's too busy watching PSG games through the whole season rather than actually coaching the team.
Exactly what to do, but City,
that's what he does. He's not coaching that team on the pitch. He's just inside the axle watching PSG play.
Lads, we watched PSG game there the weekend. They were unbelievable. What do you mean? We just got hammered 3-0 by City.
Obsessed, man.
Literally. No confidence for City.
No. Well, they beat us twice this season already, haven't they? And the fact that we've got to go to Paris and they don't have a game midweek, obviously being knocked out of the Champions League, coming off the back of a Carabao Cup win as well, their confidence is going to be high. I think there's so many factors which gives them the advantage. Obviously, being at the Etihad as well, our record, apart from last season, I'm pretty sure our record at the Etihad is quite poor, isn't it?
Yeah. But boys, it's the FA Cup. Giant killing.
We're
the Giants. They're good at us.
I'm with Max on that. You know what? If Salah's back, he's in the team. I reckon we're probably going to win 4-1.
3-0 City.
I was flirting with the joke, but no, I'll back it. I think we go through. Genuinely, I actually think we go through.
I think we could have something. I think we could have something. Maybe if we drag it out to extra time, I said earlier, I recorded a video and I said, I don't really mind losing this one. Obviously, you really want to win it, but PSG is the priority. But just 100%. Give us something going into those PSG games where you think, okay, we can actually do something. Don't go there and get smacked up 3-0 again. Doku masterclass, Haaland goal, etc. And then we go into PSG. We're defeated as a fan base before it's even begun. So give us something. Just fight for to take it as far as you can. Man City will be high on confidence after obviously winning the Carabao Cup. So that's another factor we probably aren't speaking about or thinking about. So I'm not too confident, but it is what it is, man.
Quick question for all of you, right? Do you think that if we get absolutely slapped by City, I thought about this in the shower today, that he gets sacked? Like if we lose 5-0 and we get absolutely battered, do you think he'll get sacked?
He's gonna get they're gonna do it at the end. Like realistically, there's no point in sacking him now. You know what I mean? Because
I agree, by the way. But
yeah,
I think the only benefit in sacking him now would be not getting an interim in, but getting the permanent in now, because he's not going to have a permanent manager. If we get Alonso, for example, in the summer, he's not going to have the squad with him. They're all going to be at the World Cup. He's going to be working with, I don't even know. Who's not going? Chiesa. Chiesa's probably leaving anyway. But he won't have the players to work with. So it would be good to get like the permanent manager in if we are planning on replacing him. Yeah, like a pre-season, yeah. And then then you can obviously get a bit of time with the squad once the World Cup ends. We're actually, our pre-season tour is in America, isn't it? And obviously the World Cup is in America. So I think that was obviously planned to just get them there straight away as soon as possible. But yeah, I don't know.
If there was a time,
I think so. Go on, Max.
If there was a time to do it, it would have been after Brighton in the international break. That would have made the most sense, but obviously didn't.
I'm real wary about sacking a manager. Like, see what happened. I know Amarim obviously came in a lot like earlier in the season, but like when you sack a manager and they're bad, or when you sack a manager, you bring someone in and they're bad, and like they continue to be bad. Like people are like, oh well, he has lost like 7 in his last 10, and that carries into next season. Similar way Slot won the league and they were like all in Dubai and I beat them. It's like, oh well, he hasn't won like a game in his last, I don't know, 10 games. Like what's that like? Do you know what I mean? I think I'd rather just have a clean slate. The only issue I have with having a clean slate is obviously the World Cup. Like that's going to play a big factor in terms of like transfers and getting players back. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult. But score prediction for Liverpool against Man City.
Score prediction.
4-1 Liverpool.
4-1.
No,
that's not.
I think we do them 1-0. I genuinely think we hold it out. We'll get it near the end of the game, and I think maybe in the last couple of minutes we might nick a goal or an extra time.
Does that go straight to extra time? Yeah, there's no replays in the FA Cup now.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to choose to be positive, not because I fully believe it, but because I've had a break, feeling a bit more upbeat. So I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool after extra time. Smash and grab.
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I don't think I've ever predicted us to lose a game. I don't think it's going to start now. But I'll say penalties. Why not? Let's go for penalties.
I'll go penalties.
Do them on penalties.
2-2. We go through in penalties. That's what I'm going to go.
I hope it doesn't. Honestly, I'd rather lose in normal time than.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Pens, though, because PSG will fiddle with us if it does go to 120 minutes.
They're going to fiddle with us anyway.
No, they're not.
If your next score prediction will be a loss because we're playing PSG.
Yeah. Tune in on Monday.
Yeah, tune in on Monday. But that is us, folks. Our very first live stream. If you're very new to the channel, or if you're just finding out about us, if you've come across from Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it is, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. We're going to be here every Monday and Thursday at 7 o'clock. Appreciate all the support. And yeah, see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
Nice one, lads. See you later.
Bye-bye.